Hello everyone, my name is Alyan Fiverwala and today I have very special guest. Her name is Amanda. Amanda is a renowned international best-selling author and the CEO of Magnetic Entrepreneur INC. Her captivating books have garnered a global readership while her company empower and guide aspiring entrepreneurs with a passion for storytelling and a commitment to business success. Amanda is a true inspiration for those aiming to excel in literature and entrepreneurship. So, hello, Miss. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I
I'm
am
really
fine.
excited to be here.
I am also excited. I am very thankful to you, Miss, for coming in my show. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. So, before moving on a question, can you please introduce yourself?
So, I am Amanda M Renaud, and I am the new CEO and owner of Magnetic Entrepreneur Inc. I am an international best-selling author, and I also have an educational background in child and youth work treatment. And yeah, I have over 20 years of experience in leadership and management. I'm also a mother of three boys, and I am actually from Canada.
Wonderful, that's great. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. Okay, Miss. So, my first question in your screen, can you tell us about your journey to becoming an international best-selling author?
So I started my writing journey, like I've always written my entire life. It's always been something that has always been there for me and I've always really enjoyed. And so back in 2017, 2018, the founder of Magnetic Entrepreneur Inc., Robert J. Moore, New York Times bestselling author and Guinness World Book of World Records holder, and so much more. He gave me an opportunity to write in a book called Women in Leadership, Magnetic Entrepreneur, and we had a co-author, Serena Brown Travis, the daughter of Les Brown. She was also a co-author in that book. And so Robert gave me that opportunity, and I took it on, and I did really well with it, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was nice to be recognized. And that was the beginning of my career as an author. So, um, when we had first started doing that book collab, I had no idea that it was going to turn out that well. So, it was really exciting for me, and it kind of gave me more compassion to keep writing and to really embrace the world of entrepreneurship and being an author. So it was a lot of fun. I got to collaborate with and network with a lot of different people and a lot of women who were in the field of entrepreneurship. And I had never actually really thought about being an author as a full time career because I was still working and I was in sales then and doing a little bit of retail. And so when that book was published, it was really exciting. And it wasn't until then, when the book did so well, that I started considering becoming an author. So, so
Wonderful,
that,
that's great.
yeah, so that book, it is a collaboration of all different women of different walks of life who embraced entrepreneurship and leadership. And it was kind of written in the perspective of what it's like to be a woman in the world of entrepreneurship. So it was a really great book, a really great read with a lot of insight and knowledge in there to inspire and encourage women to embrace entrepreneurship. So I actually read the entire book after, and it was actually really amazing to see all of the different perspectives. And I really enjoyed it, and it lit a fire under me to keep going with it. So over the years, I've never stopped writing. I have my own book that's coming out soon, my own solo book, my first one. And so I had been working on that book for probably a year and a half. And so that book will be out soon, and it's called Exceptional Minds. So I'm really excited. So it actually inspired me to not just co author, but to actually become a full time author and write my own literature. So that was the start of everything. And when I was doing that back in 2017, 2018, I never imagined I would be an international best-selling author, never mind own a publishing company. So it's really been an incredible journey. It's taught me a lot about myself and about networking with other people, and it's really inspired me to keep going with my writing. And I've had a really awesome experience with writing so far. So the
Wonderful. That's really great. Awesome. So, Miss, what are the biggest challenges entrepreneurs face in today's business landscape, and how does Magnetic Entrepreneurs INC address them?
So when you enter entrepreneurship, it's a very diverse industry, and it's a very competitive industry. And most entrepreneurs, they're always creating, and they're always on the top of all of the markets, and they are really embracing everything around them. So it takes a lot of creativity, and you're always having to learn and be resourceful. And some of the challenges a lot of people face is sometimes when you start a venture, it may not get any traction at first, and it can be kind of, if you don't understand entrepreneurship, it can kind of be a little discouraging. But I always dealt with it by staying true to what I wanted to do and keeping on that road. And no matter what kind of challenges or struggles would come up in my journey of entrepreneurship, I would always keep going and persevere. And networking is the other big thing. And you have to be really good at networking and collaborating with other people. And I mean, some of the challenges that come up is it's very competitive. So you always have to be learning, you always have to be networking, you have to have a strong sense of resilience. So some of those challenges, um, they can be difficult for certain types of people, but the biggest thing is to have a positive support system and embrace the journey and accept where you are in your journey, and always celebrate the little milestones too. And then, you've got to kind of just keep pushing through the hard times and really pursue what you want from that. And I do that by setting a lot of goals and incorporating a routine in my life. And so, sorry. And so what ends up happening is basically, um, during your journey of entrepreneurship, there's always different opportunities that are presented to you. And so you have to find the opportunities that work for you and that you're compassionate about.
Wonderful. That's really awesome. Okay, Miss. So, as a CEO, what leadership principles do you believe are crucial for success?
So, what's crucial for success is being a people person and being really self aware and being resilient and being able to uh, so you have to be able to kind of control yourself and your emotions, and always plan ahead and strategize and kind of be inspiring and being congruent and honest and authentic in the things that you're doing. um, you want to make sure that you're a good role model and a good mentor, and that you're passionate about learning, and you're effective communicator, you're effective listener, and you recognize the value that each and every single individual brings forth to your business or company, whether that's your staff, your clientele. And I think you have to be a really good advocate. Advocacy is very important in entrepreneurship because you want to always make sure that you're representing the best interests of your business and the people around you.
Wonderful. Again, awesome. Wonderful. So, Miss, how do you balance your role as an author, CEO, and owner of Magnetic Entrepreneur Inc?
So I live by a very very strict routine, and I have to balance my time out because as an author, I don't want to lose that piece becoming a CEO. So I put away time for my writing and time for my business. And it's a lot of self care and really being aware of how you're feeling and how the environment and the things around you are impacting you, and just having that awareness and knowing your boundaries and your limits and not overdoing it, because if you do that, then you can get really burnt out and you can lose your compassion, and you may not always be representing yourself the best. So recognizing your boundaries, recognizing your support systems, having proper routines, and working hard and be willing to sacrifice a little bit to get going. So when you take over a business or a company, in the beginning, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work learning about the business and what it represents and what it stands for. And then doing a changeover is also kind of a big process as well, because you want that change to run smoothly. And so that your operations and, your business still is going well. So managing that and doing that switch over, it requires patience and a lot of learning, and listening to your mentors around you, and recognizing that when you start getting into business, there's going to be a ton of different opinions and experiences of other people. So you always want to make sure that you're listening, and you don't necessarily have to take everybody's advice, but you always want to make sure you're listening, because I feel like sometimes you can learn a lot from other business owners and other leaders, if you choose to listen and be open to hearing different experiences and different sort of different opinions and things like that. So, always keep going, persevere, understand that not every day is going to go as planned, having backup plans, being prepared, and kind of just making sure that in order to keep your services your business offers running smoothly, is that when you need help, you seek out that help and you don't try to take on too much at once, because that can really affect the operations overall of a business, especially a business that's changing in ownership and transferring over. So you have to be willing to be open to listen and learn, because you don't want to, especially when you're coming into a business that's already established, you don't want to kind of come in and, you know, start off doing everything your way, because there's reasons why certain businesses do certain things and the way they operate. So um, you kind of always want to make sure that you're listening to your mentors and you're, always being honest about how it's going, and you're keeping track of your progress and making sure that during the process you're monitoring how it's going and being really mindful of areas that you can improve. You're setting goals so that you can deliver the best services possible for your clientele. So that's what I would say are some really crucial factors to consider. So, yeah.
Wonderful, amazing. Okay, miss. So, could you describe a moment or experience that had a significant impact on your entrepreneurial journey?
So, one of the challenges that I faced when I started entrepreneurship was I was dealing with some medical things, and I was also dealing with some huge life issues at the same time. And so when you're dealing with high stress situations, it can be a little bit more difficult. So I went through a period during my entrepreneurship where I did get a little bit burnt out, and I did start to lose a little bit of compassion. And there was at one point I had to really be honest with myself and say, okay, I'm not being as effective and helpful as I could be. So I had to really learn the importance of self care, and you know, and speaking up when things I wasn't comfortable with were happening around me. So I had to learn to become um, a really good advocate, and I also had to learn to take care of me. So I would work, 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 and I wasn't balancing it out. And so, because I was so tired and exhausted and burnt out, I wasn't giving my best. And I was starting to possess some kind of toxic qualities in the beginning of my journey of entrepreneurship. So, what I did was I got educated more. I educated myself more about burnout and compassion fatigue and what that looks like, and kind of what I was experiencing. And I started implementing regular self care into my routine and making sure that um, who I was always in check so that I could show up and be the best version of myself for people. Because, when you're younger and stuff, we don't always have the knowledge to kind of recognize parts of ourselves that aren't serving our business or our ventures well. So that was something that I had to conquer. And, yeah, I now am really big on self care and health and exercise and diet, nutrition. All of those things matter. And really being true to the things that you want, and making sure that when you're saying yes, you really mean yes, and that you want to be doing what you're doing. So, authenticity and self care, those are two crucial things that I struggled with in the beginning. So, with some coaching and some mentorship from Robert J. Moore, and there's been a couple people in the background who have really kind of helped me out and kind of led me to the knowledge to get back on track and becoming a more composed and self-aware person. So I would say those are really important things to consider always.
Wonderful, amazing. Okay, miss. So, how do you see the future of entrepreneurship evolving, and what opportunity do you anticipate?
So, as our world kind of evolves into this technology based society, I think what we're going to see is a lot more with AI and chat GPT and programs such as this, they're wonderful, wonderful tools. But what can happen is sometimes the content that's being produced from entrepreneurs, it's very similar. And see, we want to always remember to keep our originality and our authenticity, um, and keep going with that. And always, um, I mean, it's easy enough to let chat gpt do the hard work for you, but in the same sense it kind of takes away from us, I feel like, because we lose that creativity piece. And as the world becomes more technologically advanced, people become very reliant on it. And so we kind of lose. I've noticed too, with the age of technology, especially in younger generations, we're seeing this situation where social skills are kind of taking a bit of a backseat, because we're so used to, talking on the internet or talking via text message or messaging applications. Sometimes when we get in person with somebody else, it can be anxiety producing, and sometimes people struggle with social skills. So I would say that they're wonderful, great tools, but always remember to express your creativity and try not to let that piece slide away. And always be willing to, if you can meet people in person, I always find it's a much better experience. And always be willing to upgrade your social skills, because you never know when you're going to need them. So as we move into this new era of technology, I think it's important that we recognize that as human beings, we still have very crucial needs, and we have a need to share our messages and communicate, and have human face-to-face contact as well. So I would say that any entrepreneurs, if you can meet your clients and your team members and your business partners in person, obviously go for that. Don't forget, I mean, technology is great. It's helped me a lot in my life, but don't lose yourself in tools. Use them as tools and not as a reliance, because especially with book writing, um, you want to always, we always have our own social language. And so um, people can kind of tell when it's your words and it's authentic and coming from you, as opposed to it being kind of articulated from an app or something. So always try to keep your authenticity and just be mindful of your social skills, and always continue to upgrade them, because they're pretty handy to have. So that's basically what I would say in regards to those kind of questions.
Wonderful, Miss. Okay, so my last question is, at Rehan School, our curriculum does not include science, physics, or math. Instead, we focused on technology, freelancing, IT, AI. I'd like to know your opinion on this approach.
So, I kind of didn't grow up in the technology age. So I'm just embracing it myself as a young woman. And you know what? Because of the way society is evolving, and because every job that you go to is so reliant on technology, IT, AI, all of those things, they're crucial skills to have. Because even if your everyday jobs, your retail jobs, your fast food industry jobs, some of these entry level jobs, they require you to have no understand technology and IT. A lot of businesses run on POS systems, point of sale systems, and even today in the modern world, when we're shopping, we're communicating, we're networking. We have to learn how to incorporate that and embrace that into our everyday living, because one of the struggles I've had recently is a lot of these new applications and these new ways of doing things. I had no idea, because when I took computer classes, 25 years ago, we we did not have any of this. I was learning to type on a keyboard. And so when I actually went to college 10 years ago, technology was so advanced that when I was struggling with my visual impairments, I could talk into a pen and it would like record everything for me. So it's advanced, and it's actually really great because people with disabilities, they're able to have the same opportunities as everyone, especially with ebooks now. So people who struggle with certain things in life, technology has made it easier for them to interact with the world. So I think it's actually super good, and it's crucial, and it's very important because all jobs, especially higher end and higher paying jobs, they require some level of knowledge about IT, AI, and technology. You can't escape it, and unfortunately, we're not in the 90s anymore. And as the world evolves, we have to learn to adapt as a society. So it's very crucial to have those skills, because a lot of the higher end jobs, they're reliant on technology and such. So I think it's amazing, and it's a really good thing that your school is doing for you guys, because I wish that I could learn some of the stuff you guys know. Like, I have a friend, and she helps me with all of the IT and all the tools and stuff like that, cuz like I said, I started out on a computer that would take, 10 minutes to load up, and it was running on DOS. So, it's an incredible experience that you guys have, because you're able to adapt and evolve as society evolves. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Okay, Miss. So I am again very thankful to you for coming in my show and sharing your knowledge and sharing your experience with us. I hope everybody learned something new with your experience, with your talk. Thank you so much again for coming in my show. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for having me, and we'll talk again real soon. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.